So what's going on, guys? I'm Patty. I'm with FC Explained, and this is a channel that I'm starting because I've been getting a lot of people, like my friends, and they want to learn how to get better at FC, and that's basically the purpose of this channel, right? So I'm not expecting to get any massive viewers or anything. This channel is mainly just for people that I want to help improve, and yeah, so I have some clips here today from some games that I played this morning. A little background, so this is a brand new PC account that I just made. I have played in some FC, I guess you can call it like I forgot what they're called, the FC Pro. I'm not a professional or anything, I'm not claiming to be. I forget what they're called. It's like that comp PlayStation tournament they were having. I think anyone that's watching, you guys might know what I'm talking about. But yeah, I consistently get Elite Division. Last year, I think my highest skill rating was about 950. Around there, like 920, 930 actually. I think I peaked at 950 for towards the end of a season, but yeah, this is the new PC kind of built. I was at Div 7 about like a week and a half ago. Climbed all the way up to Elite, season reset hit, and back in Div 1. So I've been playing this game for a while. I like to think I'm pretty well versed in how to get decent. So obviously, you guys are more than welcome to not listen to anything I have to say. So, but if you're watching this, I assume you guys will find some value in this. But yeah, so let me just pull up the first clip I have here. Just make sure this is still recording. Yeah, we are. Okay. Where is it? I think it's here. Beautiful. Okay.
Why is the gameplay?
Alright, you guys can hear me already, bro. First game on and I was hating it. So, oh, I don't know what that is. Okay, so first thing first, I'm losing this game as you guys can see. Um, so I'm just building up the back, and the first key principle that I use a lot is when I get out the back, I always look to the winger, and I try to trigger the winger early. Ideally, I'll get it from the goalie to the center back, get it to one of my two CDMs, and then as soon as it gets to one of the CDMs, I'll trigger the winger. And then as a swinger, usually I have them lengthy because I'm an absolute rat, but while they're obviously running down the line, I'm just trying to get it from CDM to cam to striker for the first time through ball. A lot more experienced players will understand this, and maybe even some of the Div 4, Div 5 as well will understand this concept. But so let me just restart from the beginning so I see it in full. So keeper gets it, gives a center back, same thing, CDM, trigger the winger, get it there, layouts through. Now, one thing here I'm recognizing already is I have a lot of space, but instead of going directly to Messi, I can use Messi as a last minute runner. So I'm actually looking towards Yildiz first. And the reason being is just because I can play these quick 1-2 passes if he doesn't switch. Now, unfortunately, you guys will see here, he does actually switch it in time, so that gets red. But one thing you guys should learn is recognize the spaces, especially in between the opponent's defensive line and their midfield line. That is probably the first real tip I'd give of this video. If you can find the players in between these lines very quick, that is very good. That is ideally what you'd like to do. Because when they're in this position, you force the opponent to make a decision, right? So here he decided to switch to a center back. Fairly good at anticipating that first time ball, because that's definitely the biggest threat. If you tried to just go at Yildiz, I could have just taken a touch up and played Messi and probably would have been a goal. But like I said before, we're forcing him into a decision, right? We are making him decide to either press or hold off. So I don't know if you guys watch John Sims, but one concept I really like is there's no right or wrong decisions in FC. There's only aggressive and passive, right? So right here, obviously Yildiz gets the ball. He goes aggressive in terms of going out, and he's not holding back. He's not letting me hit Messi. He's going out and he's trying to block this passing lane because there's not really any other threat besides Yildiz himself. So he gets the ball there. Good defending, I'll give him that. And then right here, anticipate the ball back really quick. Same thing, I played aggressive on my defending. And then again, like I said before, immediately I take advantage of the fact that his midfield line is pretty high up, and we have 2 players sitting in this pocket. So I'm just trying to get it, again, like I said, in this pocket between the midfield line and the defensive line. So I get it there. Obviously, pointless skill move. I like to skill, just trying to have fun, but work my way in, and we get the goal. So biggest concept from this clip, I would say, is just recognize if you can get players. First of all, trigger runs using the L1 on PS, left bumper on Xbox, and just send them so they get into these spaces, right? Because none of this would happen if I didn't trigger my players into these spaces. So trigger players into those spaces, and then use the fact that they're running in there to find them again. We're basically just trying to play the players that are in between lines, because that is when the players are the most dangerous, because that is when the opponent needs to make a defining move, passive or aggressive. So let me get the next clip up here. I think it is this one. Yeah, so this one, I win the ball back, get out to Nuno Mendes. Same thing, right? He's not really pressing me right now, so he's playing pretty passive. So I know I have time to think. Could I go on the wing? Yes, but one thing I'm also noticing is I'm looking at the mini-map here, and that's something you guys should get very comfortable doing, is glancing here, especially for players that you can't see on screen. I'm using co-op, so it's obviously a lot easier. I can literally see my entire back line and midfield and all the wingers pretty much, except maybe my cam or striker, the right wing up there, but I'm basically just looking at the space and I'm seeing what he's doing. So he's pressing me a little, so I give it to Rice, put it into this pocket because Messi is in an absolute crap ton of space. Like I said, again, remember, he's in between the lines. Right here, you can see he's in between lines. Yeah, one of the CDMs is holding back, but he's still in between this defensive line right here and this midfield line. So he's in that pocket. Get it there, and then the new concept that I would introduce, I guess, from this clip that I think would be the most useful is when I am building up, specifically when I get into a pocket of space with my cam or my striker, I always try to go wide first and then come back into the middle. And let me explain why. When you go wide, you're naturally going to spread out the opponent's defensive shape. And the reason being is because he has to send someone out there. Not necessarily at this state, but if I was further up the field, it applies. I'm just using it here because I know this guy's playing pretty aggressive with his back line. So I know if I just get close enough and I go back, he's bound to drag someone out. And he does exactly that. Drags out his center back, creating this gap right here. And all I do is I go backwards to go forwards. That's his center back right there. So I know 2 things. One, his defensive shape is completely fucked up now. It is completely screwed. He's definitely scrambling. He's panicking now. He's just trying to press. And by his CDMs going out to cover for the center back now, I have this pocket of space here, which I find Rashford in. Get into Rashford, and then now I have Sorloth, and he's able to split them, and we get a very nice finish. So, key thing from this clip, I would say, is just capitalizing on where the space is. Not all the time do you have to go forward and try to force the patterns that this game sometimes provides, right? So, obviously, like I said with the first time through balls, I'm not saying force them, I'm saying use them to learn how your opponent plays and to see if your opponent has the vision to track those runners right away. So, let me see right here. Same thing, like I said, look, I'm looking for the space. This is not, me passing straight to Messi is not a good idea because he's covering that passing lane there. So I just take my time. Go into space, I'm literally left sticking. I'm not sprinting, I'm not doing anything. I'm playing very slow in terms of how I'm moving my players, right? Skill move's not needed. I was just doing it to warm up my fingers, but like I said, take the space there, one touch, bang. So, yeah, like I said, took advantage of the fact that his players were out of position. He was too aggressive, and we made him pay for it. So, let me get this next clip here. Okay, so this next clip, pretty much, let me just watch it back to make sure I know what I was going to say. Oh, perfect, yeah. So, the main idea with this clip that I want to go over is just So I'm triggering, I'm doing the same thing, right? Win the ball here at my center mid. Get it to my cam, or I guess in this case Messi's my striker, but I trigger Leao, you guys can see right there, just to create space, right? I'm triggering these players to make his defenders go back, and I'm taking the space that is opening up by triggering these two. Give it to Sorloth because I want him to switch. I need to get him to switch. So he switches, I take it, split it to Leao, and now watch this, right? Same thing. I do an L1X pass here, trigger Messi, call Leao short using R1 or right bumper. I can go in more depth on the actual mechanics. I'm just trying to go over what I'm doing so you guys can understand how the players are moving and what I'm doing to make them move that way. So I get it to Leao's feet. Now I'm baiting this run, right? Instead of ball roll scooping, could I have played just a regular through ball here? Yeah, of course. But this guy, different guy, this guy from the first clip, I believe, he was a lot better of an opponent, in my opinion. No shade to the second guy I played, but he was a lot more passive and he was a lot more baity, if you will. So he's trying to like make me second guess certain passes. So I figured I'd create a really obvious chance by triggering Messi and having him run into the space. Because like I said, players are out of position. Look, only his center backs are here. So he's completely lost whatever defensive shape he had before. And I use that to pretty much bait a run. He switches out and Sorloth is open again. So obvious real pass. He jockeyed back to cover it. That's definitely something that was a smart thing to do because that was very blatant. But I used the fact that he was trying to cover this pass as like an anticipation, like, okay, he's going to shift down here to cover this, so I'm just going to pre-fire almost just going this way. And I do exactly that. Just regular left stick, and I get a goal from it. So with this one, I'm creating opportunities by triggering runs, but I'm not necessarily using the player running. You don't always have to go to the player you trigger. You can use the triggered player to watch how your opponent reacts and defends the triggered player. Does he play passive and track the player, or does he play aggressive and try to rip the ball off you before you can play the pass? Stuff like that is really important at these higher levels. So I think that is everything. I don't know if I have one more clip. I don't believe I showed this one. Okay, yeah, so this is just more of the first time through ball. I think this is a repeat clip. I don't remember. Yeah, so I think same thing. Find Leao in here. Get it to Rashford. Get it to Messi. Yeah, so pretty much just the same thing I explained in the very first clip. Get it there. Trigger Leao. I did L1X here. I forgot to turn on the visual indicator, but that's an L1 pass here. Triggered Leao. Waiting for him. Waiting. Play it. Fake shot stop because I know he's going to catch me. Same thing here. His momentum was really high here, so if he switches to his center back, I already know that he's going to go this way, so I have at least one touch before I get it up anymore. Same thing, uses momentum against him, and we get a really nice finesse for Messi. So, yeah, those are the 4 clips I had. Sorry if this video is a little bit shorter. I usually try to go more in depth when I'm teaching my friends or teaching the people I'm coaching certain concepts, but this is more just like a test video. You know, obviously I'd love any feedback you guys could provide on either stuff you'd like me to go over next video, different styles. I'm more than happy to do like a live gameplay or even a live coaching session as well, and record it or stream it, whatever you guys would like. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed. I'd love, like I said, any feedback on what I can improve with the video style, the way I explain things. I'm just trying to get better at teaching you guys and helping you guys get better and get the results you'd like and have as much fun on this game as you can. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. I'll see y'all later. Peace.